The GTX 960 was the mid-range GPU king back when it launched in January of 2015, but 2 years later, does this GPU hold its own among the newer GPU lineups? Stay tuned to find out. So welcome back to another video. This is TeamOverclocked, and in today's video we will be figuring out how the GTX 960 stacks up with the games of today. We will be using an EVGA reference style 2GB GTX 960. We might as well just do a physical overview of this GPU. If you haven't noticed already, this has a hard plastic shroud with a crappy blower fan on one end and an NVIDIA GTX 960 logo on the other. At the back we see 3 display ports, an HDMI, and a DVI port along with a rear exhaust vent. Even though it's been 2 years, the connectivity standards haven't changed much, so this is pretty normal. Overall, I like the design of this, even though it might not be the most practical compared to custom PCBs. But anyways, let's get to the interesting part, the benchmarks. To test out the 960, I used a PC with an i3-6100 and 8GB of RAM. This is about the speed that most systems with this GPU should be using. For detailed specs, pause the video or go look in the description for a detailed list of all the parts. To start the benchmarks off, we have Battlefield 1. This was a well-anticipated game that I thoroughly enjoyed. At 1080p medium settings, the GTX 960 managed to get an average of 53 FPS and a minimum of 44. The small FPS range really shows how well optimized this game is. Next up we have Titanfall 2. Although I don't play this game that much, it does seem like another fun shooter from DICE. At 1080p ultra settings, this PC got 55 FPS as an average and 34 FPS as a minimum. The minimum is a bit low, but I think this might be because of the dual-core i3 in this PC or because of poor driver optimization. Last, we are benchmarking For Honor. This game just recently released this year, and at 1080p high settings, we saw the GTX 960 run it at 46 FPS with a minimum of 34. This really represents the average games that we're probably going to be seeing in 2017. Although we didn't benchmark a lot of games with this GPU, we still got a pretty decent overview of the performance. From this, we can sort of infer how this should perform in 2017. Even though this used to be able to play at 1080p Ultra, it can't really do that much at all. Even then, 1080p medium settings is pretty acceptable performance. When buying used, you can get this for around $100. At that price, this is a pretty good deal, considering it has lower power requirements compared to something like the AMD HD 7950. Now back to the question at the start of the video. Should you buy this in 2017? I would say yes. If you can find this for less than $100, then definitely go for it. But if it costs more than $100, or if you have a little bit of a bigger budget, go with something like a GTX 1050, 1050 Ti, or even an RX 470. Although they are a bit more expensive, you will be getting a little bit more performance, and with the RX 470, you will get significantly better performance. But they are a bit more expensive, so that's their main downside. But anyway you go, with any GPU that you pick, you should be satisfied with your purchase. So what GPUs do you guys have in your systems? Tell me in the comments down below how much you paid for a GPU and which sort of custom model you got. It would be interesting to see what you guys have found in the new and used markets. But anyways guys, that's all for today. If you liked the video, please be sure to overclock the like button. If you didn't like it, please dislike this video. and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.